What's up guys, Jeremy here and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're gonna talk about a side hustle that I just started that seems very profitable. The side hustle that I'm talking about is known as Turo. In this video, we're gonna talk about what is Turo, why I started Turo, how much I made in my first month, how much profit I have lined up. And if you stick around till the end, I'll tell you everything that you need to know to get started on Turo if you want to start a side hustle as well. Because I've been getting a lot of questions from social media and from everyone and just people asking like, oh, I want to get started on Turo. What do I do? How do I do it? Well, watch this video all the way to the end and you'll learn everything that you need to know. But first, before we get started, I'm gonna have to ask you to smash the like button and subscribe to my channel. And while you're at it, go ahead and follow me on all my social media platforms as well. Thank you. All right, now let's get this video started. All right, so first things first, what is Turo? So Turo is an online platform that allows people to rent cars from other people. Essentially, just think of Turo like an Airbnb, but for cars. You are renting a car not from a company, but from another person. Now, why did I decide to start Turo? Well, for those that don't know, Oahu is experiencing a major shortage for rental cars. The reason for that is that I'm just going to assume that because everything is slowly starting to get back to normal, more tourists are coming to the island, and because of more tourists coming to the island, we are in need of more rental cars. Like, no joke, tourists are flooded everywhere on the island. They're just everywhere. Which, by the way, side note, if you are watching this and you are thinking about visiting Hawaii pretty soon for vacation, all I ask is that you please respect the island, respect the people, do not disrespect our land and our beaches, do not litter, and just please understand that Hawaii is our home and it's not your playground. Because lately I've been seeing a lot of tourists come to the island and just trash our beaches, trash our island, and it's just not okay. But anyway, yes, Hawaii is experiencing an influx of all these tourists coming to the island, and we are just out of rental cars. So for someone who is like me, who has the entrepreneurial spirit, and also that has a bachelor's degree in economics, I immediately saw an opportunity. According to the law of supply and demand, which I mentioned on this channel so many times, if a product or service, in this case rental cars, is low, and if the demand for it is high, which in this case is extremely high, then the price of the commodity or service will rise. And that definitely holds true because according to this KHON2 news article, they said that people have reported seeing rental car rates as high as $600 a day. So when I heard that, I already knew that, okay, this is a good opportunity. So I thought, let's get on Turo. I then got on Facebook Marketplace to look for a cheap, affordable used car. When I tell people this story, they think, Jeremy, why don't you just put your Tesla on Turo to get more profit? I mean, you're a realtor, you work from home a lot, like you don't need it. No, bro, I love my Tesla. I have tons of emotional attachment to my car. The slightest ding or scratch, oh my God, I'd be devastated. And that is why I wanted to get a used car. It would be one, affordable, and two, I had no emotional attachment to it. So if it got a little scratch or a little ding, then I really wouldn't care much. Also, keep in mind that when you're shopping for a used car, if you're thinking about putting it on Turo, Turo only accepts cars that are 12 years old and younger, and also has less than 130,000 miles. So sure enough, I found this really nice economy car. It is a 2012 Kia Rio and only had 64,000 miles on it at the time. And the best part, it was only $5,500. I thought right away that this would be a good deal because all the other cars that were around that same year with the same mileage were going for around $8,000 to $10,000. So then I bought it, I cleaned it, I disinfected it, make sure it's all safe. I put that thing on Turo and it was ready to go. So let's talk about insurance. So Turo has their own insurance and they also have different profit plans. So I thought, okay, if I'm not gonna use this for personal use, why even get my own insurance? But I talked to some people and they said, you never know, if I'm driving the car and I get into an accident, then I wouldn't be covered. So I just decided to get my own insurance. So when I drive it, I would be covered. But when customers on Turo are using it, they would be covered through Turo's insurance, which I believe is through Liberty Mutual. So as I was saying, they have different profit plans. The general profit plan that Turo offers is the 70% plan, which means you get 70% and Turo takes 30%. This 30%, part of that is what pays for your insurance with Turo. The cool part about this plan is that if it gets damaged or scratched or anything like that while a customer is using it, you only pay a $500 deductible. However, for me, I wanted to take it one step further and I chose the 85% plan. For me, cash flow was important. I wanted as much cash flow as I could, so I chose that plan. The only drawback to this plan is that your deductible would be $2,500. But again, remember that for me, I don't really care if it gets scratched or damaged here and there, so I won't be tripping if any of that stuff happens. However, the only risky part for me is that if it's some kind of huge damage, then I'll have to pay $2,500 for Turo to take care of it. However, you guys know me, that is a risk that I'm willing to take. So when I first put my car in Turo, Turo suggests what kind of price or how your pricing should be. With my car, it said you should rent it out for like 50 bucks. And when I saw that, I was like, no way. Like, I know with this demand, I could get way more than $50 a day. So at first I priced it, I don't know, at $120 a day. I put it at that price, and for a whole day, nothing happened. I thought, okay, what the hell is going on? So I did some research and I searched on Turo as a customer's perspective, and I was looking to see how much cars are renting for. And I noticed that you could get Tesla Model 3s for $130 a day. So I thought, okay, maybe I'm priced a little too high. So then I lowered my price to $80 a day, and instantly, right away, all of May got booked up, and it was so crazy. I was getting notification after notification within the next 3 hours. So then I thought, okay, whoa, maybe I put it a little too low. So then all of June going forward, I priced it at $90 a day, and I was still getting booked. So for the demand and the tourism here in Hawaii, it is very real. Now let's talk about actually renting it and delivering the car to people. So, for me, I live in Honolulu. As a real estate broker, I naturally have this sense to provide, the best customer service as I can possible. For all of May, I decided to, I want my customers to have convenience. So I dropped the car off to the airport parking lot, put a lockbox under the car, leave the key there. And when my customers come, I just text them pictures and tell them where it's at. That way they don't have to go anywhere, Uber or taxi anywhere. And then I drop the car off and then Uber back to my condo. And that worked out really great. The customers could find the car super easily. They're very happy. They're even giving me really great 5-star reviews. So I thought, okay, cool. So now let's talk about how much money I made. So as I'm recording this on June 9, I see that I've made just a little over $1,200 for the first month. And that's pretty awesome. That's a stimulus check right there. So that's about, I bought it for $5,500. So that's about 21% cash on cash return for my first month. And then if you guys look here, it's June 9. So far in June, I've already made almost $300. And then if you look closely, I have about $3,700 pending, which means I will break even and make back my original investment once August comes around. And after that, everything is profit. However, there is one question that I would like to ask is, Turo, is it completely passive income? Honestly speaking, no, not the way I'm doing it at least. Me having to, drop off the car at the airport and then Ubering home and then having to go Uber to the airport to pick it up and park it in, by my condo. That takes maybe, an hour, maybe 2 hours at the most out of my day. But because of that, it's not entirely passive. It's not bad, but you can't completely call it complete passive income. It's more so semi-passive. So now I'm thinking to myself, okay, how do I make this entirely passive? Well, I've talked to other Turo users or Turo hosts on the island, and they all told me that you should honestly have the customers come pick up the car at your residence, because that way, you don't have to drop it off at the airport. To me, I was like, oh, but isn't that putting an inconvenience on the customer? And they said, they don't care. And one of my friends showed me his returns, and he's still getting great returns. And he really said, the ultimate convenience is just providing the car itself, because most cars are going for like $600 a day. So I think going forward, I think I might change my system to where, the customers come and pick up the car. But with doing that, for me anyway, there's just one problem. Because I live in a condo, where am I gonna park the car when it's not being used? I have a lot of street parking in my neighborhood, but that's not efficient. But I'll probably figure it out. But other than that, my car has been rented, back to back to back, and I'm booked out all the way to August. And ultimately, to me, I think it was a great investment, and it's a super fun way to make, semi-passive income. If you're thinking about doing this, I definitely recommend doing so. I think it's a lot better than, like Uber or something like that, because you don't have to spend time driving, and you just provide the car. And you can even make your own rules where they can come pick it up or not, whether or not they have to fill up the gas tank, and you can tell them to clean and vacuum the car after you're done as well. It's whatever you want. However, do I think this car rental shortage is going to last forever? Definitely not. I believe, someday down the road, Oahu's going to get a big shipment of a bunch of rental cars to kind of even the market and, lower the rental car pricing. However, I don't see that happening anytime soon. I think that the demand is going to remain super high. Tourism is at an all-time high right now, and I don't think it's gonna slow down anytime soon. I think we're gonna see even more tourists because, everyone wants to come to Hawaii and vacation all of a sudden. I wonder why, because it's like we've stayed home, cooped up, at our houses for a year and a half. But until then, I'm going to continue to ride this wave of the Turo gang, and I'm probably gonna increase, the amount of cars I have. This has been so great that I've actually partnered with a friend to buy my second car. This car will be hitting the streets very soon, and I'm super excited for it because it's a convertible. And who doesn't want to cruise around Hawaii in a convertible? And who knows, maybe I might make my own fleet of Turo cars. I just need to figure out the parking situation. So there you have it, guys. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and then I answered all of your questions if you're thinking about starting your own Turo side hustle as well. Try it out. It's super fun. It's a great way to make some side income, and it could be semi-passively or entirely passively depending on how you run your system. But anyways, if you haven't yet, please subscribe to my channel. Go ahead and follow me on all my social media platforms. And thank you guys again for watching. I'll see you next time.